Welcome into Eagle Bank Arena on this beautiful Sunday afternoon in Fairfax, Virginia for some EIVA volleyball as George Mason hosts number 2 Penn State. I'm Josh Yourish here with George Mason women's volleyball coach Aileen Oakson. Coach, what's it going to take from George Mason today? You mentioned Penn State, they've only dropped, what, 9 sets all year?
9 sets.
What's it going to take a set from Penn State, let alone steal this match?
They're going to have to be incredibly efficient attacking-wise, but no matter what, for the Patriots to upset Penn State, they're going to need to play highly efficient volleyball today.
It is March Madness, so we might see a number 2 seed go down today. Not quite the tournament for men's volleyball, but, you know, the basketball tournament's going on. It's the season of upsets. George Mason looking to pull one off. Cal Fisher gonna start things off. The southpaw from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I always gotta mention that. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I used to race Cal Fisher in track. And a kill there for Brett Wildman to start things off.
And that is exactly what we talked about earlier. You don't want Ezeonu to get going early. He just got a kill and then a block, and this is just trouble for Mason.
It hasn't been Cal Fisher so far for Penn State. It's been all the ancillary pieces around him, which is even more scary for George Mason because you know Fisher's eventually going to get his. It feels like Penn State is kind of the heavyweight boxer that's feeling out their opponent, and then right out of that media timeout, they jumped on them because a 4-0 run right out of the timeout, and then Coach Hosick calls the timeout to try to slow that momentum. You mentioned try to hang around, don't let there be runs, and then there's a big run by Penn State. Now Fisher will head back to the service line. Does have an ace today. Heath, McDonald, cross court, 2 bowls. Didn't get it to go. Bogner sets the middle. Sam Marsh. I know you like that rotation for George Mason when Jack Bowles is on the far side, so
Josh,
they just couldn't get it to go.
We have called so many games together that you are correct.
A 3-0 run for Penn State. Marsh again, handled very nicely by Hoyos. Bowles, it's kept alive. Nice dig by Fisher. Valenzi off the block gets the kill. George Mason seemed to do everything perfectly, and Penn State was just better on that volley. Timeout, George Mason. The passing is really the difference that I'm noticing, especially in this set. It's really showing up. You look at 2 points ago, before that ace for Penn State, the pass is perfect from Wildman, the set to the back row to Valenzi, everything in system flowing perfectly. On the George Mason side, you're seeing some pass from Heath, some pass from Hoyos, other guys in the back row. It's not giving McDonald options when he's setting the ball.
No, and I think a lot of it is they're getting caught leaning a little bit there before he sets it, and Ezeonu waits a bit too, just because they have to set him a little bit higher before he can rip one down into the 116.
You're going to mention my use of debacle. I got to say, you did a nice job there with Ezeonu, using it twice.
Well, now we're in the 3rd set.
We've got it cleaned up by set number 3. Valenzi. Heath with an overpass, but it's kept alive. Ezeonu couldn't get enough on it. Sam Peters up the middle gets the kill.
I'm surprised Ezeonu didn't just put that one away. He was well above everybody else at the net.
Seemed to be concerned about staying off the net a little bit because that overpass was very tight to the net. Fisher hammers that one off of Jack Bowles. We've seen a lot of the off-speed stuff from Cal Fisher, but set number 3, he's done messing around. He's putting big swings on this ball.
Yeah.
Brett Wildman, the senior from Virginia Beach, former EIVA Player of the Year. It's kept alive. Bowles right into the block. Marsh fired up about it. Got some help there from Will Coons.
That was a tough play from Bowles. It was a quick transition to try to get off the net and get set on that one. You can see you can only take 2 steps, and Marsh is all over him, along with Will Coons.
Will Coons, guess where he's from?
Oh my God, Pittsburgh? I don't even know, of course.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
If you're asking me about it, then it's got to be.
I'm not going to let it slip by, and this is great with Penn State. They got more people from Pittsburgh than we typically get. And Penn State, we've talked about their efficiency. Obviously, they've been cruising through the EIVA. But let's take a look at the blocks, the defensive numbers. 11 blocks for Penn State, just 1 for George Mason. just not measuring up on that end.
No, and I don't think, like, other than the middles, it's not like they're so oversized or anything like that. It's just the quickness, and honestly, I think it's also when the passing was bad for George Mason, it made their offense so predictable and let Penn State's block really set up. As you can see right here, just Ezeonu is way over the net, no light at all.
That's some excellent producing, pulling up those block numbers, and then you get a block right there, number 12 for Penn State. They're on top of it up in the booth as well, as Penn State inching ever closer to taking this match in 3 sets. George Mason still with some life. And the man you want at the service line, if you're going to go on a big run, they would need it right now. It's Omar Hoyos. Eerily quiet here in Eagle Bank Arena.
Wow.
And an ace. Stone cold from Omar Hoyos, not fazed by the silence.
And you can
24-19, match point again. Little. Good serve. Bogner up the middle, Wildman. Dug out by Hoyos, Little's over. They'll have to send over free. Bantle. Up the middle, Marsh, kept alive by Little. Cooper puts a swing on it, Wildman plays it up. Outside Fisher, cross court. Cooper, big swing, is stuffed. Penn State will do it. Cole Bogner shakes his head, says not today. Penn State takes it in 3 sets. Set number 3 goes 25-19. Cooper right into the block, the setter and the middle blocker Marsh right there. Penn State surgical today.